Hello and welcome back to the most amazing channel on the internet. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate, and yesterday was a very sad day indeed. The historic heart of Paris, the Notre Dame Cathedral, caught fire. The building began construction in the late 12th century, making it one of the oldest buildings in a city in the world. While the spire did collapse and the roof was severely damaged, structurally the Notre Dame Cathedral still stands and the fire has stopped burning, thank goodness. To pay our respects to this beautiful building, we are going to be talking about the top 10 scary Notre Dame urban legends, because it's old and we know old places have some spooks attached. Before we get into this video though, I want to ask you guys if you've ever been to Paris, and if you haven't, what's the oldest building that you have visited? While you're down there leaving me a comment, why don't you like this video and share it with a friend, and leave a message of support for the Notre Dame and the French. Also, please do check out the links in our description box of our most amazing Instagrams. Coming in at number 10, we have the fire starter. We are at an interesting point in history where we can pinpoint the birth of an urban legend. Each major historical fire, the Great Fire of London in 1666 and the Chicago Fire of 1871 for example, have their own urban legends attached. It's said that the Fire of London started at Thomas Farriner's bakery, and the Chicago Fire was said to have been started by a cow kicking a lantern over. What will they say of the 2019 Notre Dame fire? Well, that remains to be seen. So far, terrorism and arson have been ruled out, but that hasn't stopped tongues wagging that the fire was an act of anarchy. It's thought that the fire broke out at 6:50 PM in the attic of the cathedral, likely because of restoration work, although reports in French media say that there wasn't any work taking place at the time because contractors leave the property at around 5 PM. As of the scripting of this video, the origin of the fire is unknown, which of course has led people to speculate that it may have had untoward origins. A church in the heart of a city catches fire. Some people immediately blame devils, living or otherwise. Alright, taking it back to a more ancient urban legend, we have the Hunchback. When most people think of Notre Dame, we think of the Hunchback. So the story originally came from a gothic novel by Victor Hugo. It was about a deformed bell ringer of a cathedral who falls in love with a gypsy girl who takes pity on him. Long story short, a bad member of the clergy, Frollo, gets jealous and decides to hang her. What a douche. Quasimodo dies of starvation as he cradles her body for weeks until he can cradle no more. Disney does take a bit of a softer approach, but the whole Esmeralda, Quasimodo and Frollo drama is still present and correct. As a novel and a Disney movie, a lot of people assume that the story of the Hunchback of Notre Dame isn't real, but it turns out that actually it is based on a real-life man. The answer lies in the memoirs of a 19th century British sculptor, Henry Simpson. He was at the cathedral working on a renovation project when he met a hunched stonemason who loved his work but shied away from contact with others. He was given the nickname Mon le Bossu, which means hunchback in French, suggesting that he actually wasn't well treated by others and he did live on the fringes of society like in the story. Whether or not he loved a gypsy girl and whether or not he died of starvation, well, that remains to be seen. Coming into number 8, we have the pagan city below. Urban legend has it that the Cathedral of Notre Dame was built on the ruins of a pagan city, which may be why it is such a great area of mysticism. Paganism has been associated with witchcraft and Satanism, and although I think that's kind of nonsense, a lot of people are very distrustful of the old religion. Anyway, it seems that one of the holiest buildings in the world, the Notre Dame Cathedral, was built on a sacred pagan site dating back to Roman times. Now the secrets that lay buried under the floorboards, well, we can only imagine. Some say this is what gives the building an air of magic. Coming into number 7, we have the Spikes. So this story isn't pretty. One of the many ghost stories surrounding the Cathedral of Notre Dame involves a mysterious woman who came to visit the cathedral in 1882. It seems that she requested to climb one of the towers, but she was refused because she was unchaperoned. God forbid a lady climb a tower alone, right? But actually, in this instance, the guards did actually make the right call in denying her entry, albeit for the wrong reasons. The persistent young woman found an elderly lady to accompany her, but when she reached the top, she revealed her true intentions. She jumped from the top of the building and was impaled on spikes below. Ugh. It's said that her ghost has been witnessed over the years amongst the tower's gargoyles, frightening people who think that actually there's a real woman on the roof about to jump. Oh, never far from a scary list. At number 6, we have Baba VAGNA. France, or more specifically Paris, has undoubtedly had a rough ride of things in the past few years. The Charlie Hebdo murders, the Bataclan murders, and more recently the civil unrest in the community with the rise of Gilets jaunes, militant anti-government protesters. And now, a fire literally striking the heart of Paris. The city of love is fast becoming a city of pain, but Parisians will not be cowed. They keep on rising up stronger each time as the world shows them their support. That being said, many have claimed that the last blow to Paris is in line with a blind mystic Baba Vagna's predictions for the country. Baba Vagna accurately predicted 9/11 and the death of Princess Diana. She also said that France will fall to a Muslim brotherhood and that Europe will become a wasteland. She also said that humans will develop a freeze ray and find a new energy source in Venus and Mars will attack us one day, so I don't know, pinch of salt anyone? I think so. Coming into number 5, we have the haunting story of the organist. Louis Vernet was a revered composer and organist, but something about his life seemed to have been kissed by misfortune. Despite having a blossoming career in music, having been awarded the title of lead organist in the Notre Dame Cathedral, he was marked with tragedy. His eyesight plagued him, indeed he nearly lost it as a result of glaucoma. He had an accident during which he nearly had to have his leg amputated, but the real tragedy involved his children. His son Andre died in 1913 of tuberculosis, and 4 years later, his eldest son Jacques killed himself. This deeply affected Louis, who wrote a piece for his dead son. Louis Vernet died at the Cathedral of Notre Dame while he was playing his 1750th organ concert. It's said that he had a heart attack at the keys in front of an audience shortly after performing the ode to his dead son. Now, the organist is said to haunt the vast organ of Notre Dame to this day. So not all of the drama takes place inside the Notre Dame Cathedral, but with the cathedral as the backdrop. And the Cathedral of Notre Dame served as the iconic background to one of the more enduring legends of Paris. Coming into number 4, we have the human butcher. It seems that an opportunistic butcher operated on the Rue Chanonnis at the base of the cathedral. Often people who could not afford to get married inside the cathedral would do so along this street with the holy building in the background. Because of the footfall brought around by the landmark, the Rue Chanonnis was busy and there were always plenty of people milling around. Plenty of people to prey on. This is exactly what a local butcher did. He is said to have slit the throats of people caught alone at night, often students of the Notre Dame himself. He would use the corpses for their meat, filling his pies with them. Sound familiar? It is said that the butcher was also a popular pastry chef who made pies for high-flying Parisians, including King Charles VI and priests of the Notre Dame. It is said that eventually the police did find out what was happening. They found the cellar and the tools that he used to skin the corpses and cut up their flesh. The butcher was said to have confessed and burned alive in a cage for his crimes. It is said that this story served as the original inspiration for Sweeney Todd. Coming into number 3, one of the most enduring Notre Dame urban legends, we have the devil. Notre Dame Cathedral was built over the course of nearly 200 years, beginning in 1163 and continuing to 1345. Being a cathedral, it's obviously a holy space, but perhaps it isn't quite as holy as we think. It may have partially been the work of the devil. The Cathedral de Notre Dame is beautiful in many ways, and one of the most obvious ways is its intricate ironwork. Monsieur Bisconnet was a young metalsmith who wanted to prove himself and probably also find some fame. Bisconnet was tasked with providing the metalwork for the beautiful Christian monument in the heart of Paris. Well, he did it. He slaved away by the hot fires of his metal workshop and created something breathtaking in record time. In the Middle Ages, to create what Bisconnet created was actually quite the feat. But the story goes that the man was struggling. He wasn't sleeping, he wasn't eating, until one night there was a knock at his door. It was the devil himself, come to bargain with the metalworker. It is said that the devil answered Bisconnet's plea for help and created the work for him in exchange for his soul. It's said that the man was found unconscious on the floor with 2 completed ornate doors behind him, finished as if by magic. The rumours spread like the wildfires of hell itself, not helped by the fact that Bisconnet died shortly after his project was complete. Some even say that Bisconnet was the devil himself. Why? Well, because the clue is in the name. Bis or bi means 2, and cornet means horns. 2 horns. devil. The legend continues at number 2. We have the Devil's Door and the Holy Water. So what became of the ornate doors then? They are indeed still admired 700 or so years after they were installed, but on the grand opening of the Notre Dame Cathedral, well, actually, they wouldn't budge. People couldn't get inside. An ancient legend has transformed into a more enduring modern day one. The doors are said to be cursed. As the doors were installed, the locks refused to work. That was until priests threw holy water on them, and then it said that the locks sprang forth and the doors opened themselves as if by magic. Weird. Finally, coming into number 1, we have the Crown of Thorns. Many of us will know the story of Jesus, the holy man and son of God who is said to have been crucified by the Romans, but not before he was mocked and forced to carry his own cross through the streets while wearing a crown made of thorns that cut into his head and made him bleed. It's said that he was still wearing that crown when he was nailed to the cross, and indeed, he died with it still on his head. Again, so the story goes. So, what happened to that crown? Well, according to the French, it's housed in the Notre Dame Cathedral. So what happened to it in the fire? Surely we couldn't lose such a relic. It is said that Jean-Marc Fournier, a French priest who also helped the wounded in the Bataclan attack, rushed into the burning building to save the 2,000-year-old relic, along with the Blessed Sacrament. It is said that other relics were saved while firefighters formed a human chain inside of the burning building. Incredible. So guys, that was the top 10 scary Notre Dame urban legends. Now, French President Emmanuel Macron said that the worst has been avoided thank you to the firefighters, although he said the battle is not yet totally won, but he vowed that we will rebuild the Notre Dame together, and I certainly hope that it is rebuilt to its former glory, because this history needs to be continued. So thank you guys for watching this video. Once again, I want to ask you, have you been to Paris? And if not, what's the oldest building that you've been in? Also, don't forget to like this video and share it with a friend. Before I go, I'm just going to read some comments from the top 10 scary secret messages sent by aliens. Ravenclaw Lover 226 said, I think aliens have to be real. We surely can't be the only life form. Also, I love your alien song. Thank you. Philip J. Fry said, I'm from South Africa and I believe our ex-president Jacob Zuma is an alien. What? Shock, horror, conspiracy. At least he's not a lizard though. Hey. Smotchy said, the moment that you realise that you're aliens to the ones that we call aliens. Exactly. Once again, aliens. Aliens, aliens. Aliens, aliens. I never get tired of saying it. It's a more jolly way to end the video. Good! Once again, please do leave a thumbs up on this video and share it with a friend. Let me know what urban legend resonated with you the most. I honestly think the one of the organist was the most inspiring and strange to me. Do leave a thumbs up. I love them. Stick around for more videos. I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate, and I'll see you soon. Bye!